Eamon O'Carroll, progress in the third round of the Challenge Cup. You've had time to review that game and the performance of your side. What have you picked up in that review?
We're very happy with the result. Obviously, it was a goal of ours to get through to the next stage, and we knew that we'd be having a home tie against Widnes or Doncaster. In terms of the performance, there's parts there we're really disappointed in. But the players have been great. Fully expecting a response. Our review was really good. Quite honest, open, but we didn't dwell on it too much. We've kind of moved on, and we'll look forward to Keighley now.
You kind of saw in that second half against Dewsbury a sort of continuation in that first half against North Wales Crusaders. Was that like a hangover with all that adversity, with players missing due to illness, do you feel?
No, I think it'd be a bit of an excuse that, to be fair. We just got it wrong in terms of our intent. We lacked intent at the start of the game, so certainly no excuses there. I think we've learned a very harsh lesson. You can't do that. And the players are fully aware. One thing we've got to recognise is, regardless of how many trial games we've played 2 competitive games together, so we're still learning a lot about ourselves and trying to get things right. Yeah, you're right, we had some disruption in the week, but most teams will. It won't just be us, so we don't want to be the team that looks kind of for excuses. We want to make sure that we find the reasons as to why we're doing things well or we're not doing things well and rectify it.
You mentioned after the game, obviously, the players, there was a lot of sort of self-awareness, self-appraisal that performance wasn't good enough. Having that sort of maturity from the side, has that helped this week in trying to put those wrongs right?
Yeah, definitely. I think I had to walk in and try and get them pumped up to sing the song, so I was a bit disappointed, to be honest with you. But when I was driving home, I was thinking, right, well, that's good. I'm sure the players certainly won't get carried away when we perform really well, and they'll not get too down if we feel like we've underperformed. But what we will do is we're all strong enough and honest enough to know that we need to be better, and we'll have a look at how we can do that. So again, our review on Tuesday was really good. Players held themselves accountable, which was great. And then we spent some time doing some individual stuff as well, and rectified some things. So we get another great training session together tonight, and then some good prep on Friday as well going into Keighley, which I think will benefit us.
When you look at the defence of the side, if you include like the Leeds game, the Dewsbury North Wales Crusaders games, 16 points conceded in 3 games. You mentioned the illness. There has been a lot of energy, a lot of focus on that solid defensive performances.
Yeah, there has, and again that's one thing I want the players to, that is a positive for us. That's why I didn't want them to be too down. I'd certainly prefer us to be turning up for each other defensively, but if we're going to be down in any area, it's probably our attack. We'll keep working on that. That will progress as the season goes on. But your defence is an attitude and a willingness to work for each other, and they're certainly doing that. We make sure we highlight that in every video review. So I'm really happy with that, but we're also honest enough to know that system-wise we're probably not at where we need to be. A lot of those defensive efforts have just been through turning up for each other. We've actually got things wrong within that, but we've turned up for each other. So I'm really pleased in that. What we want to do is make sure that system-wise we've got everything in place, and then when we needed to, we'll work hard for each other and get ourselves out of trouble.
Lee Greenwood mentioned a number of times last season when he took over as interim head coach, Eamon, that there was a sort of Jekyll and Hyde kind of feel about certain performances. Do you pick up that from those first 2 games? Obviously, 2 great halves, the first half against Dewsbury and obviously the second half against North Wales Crusaders, or do you just put it down to we're still building, we're only in the first and second games of competitive action?
Well, I'm aware of that. That was something that Greenie and Nobby made me aware of when I came in, and obviously I watched the games last year and seen elements of that myself. But no, with this group, I'm purely thinking that it's just we're looking at getting some combinations. Like most teams, we haven't had much training time together. Although we've had a pre-season, we're very limited in what we do. Again, not an excuse, but something that we don't want to accept, but we have to understand. That's probably where we're at. So it's really important that we maximise our time together, and that's something that we're trying to do on a weekly basis. So at this stage, I'm not concerned about it, but I am aware that it's happened in the past. But we have to look forward and look at being better. And again, I'm very lucky that the players are aware of that, and they try and be the best they can every time they come through the door.
Is an area focus of improvement this week going to be on the ball handling, cutting down the error count, which I think was in double figures against North Wales?
Yeah, it was. I think probably our start is my main priority, how we start. because that's an area where I thought we really lacked, like I mentioned before, I think we lacked intent, and that's not something that I want our team to be about. I think I want us to start really well, and if we make errors doing things in which we've practiced. So I'm all right if we make errors, and as well if we can defend our errors, but more so it's what type of error it is. I mentioned in the Dewsbury game, I think we made 7 in the first half, but that was due to the wind and the kick-off, so it's just not being able to collect a kick-off. Some of the North Wales Crusaders ones were a little bit different. But again, I'll put that down to our intent. I think we lacked intent with our attack, but we managed to turn it around, which was pleasing. We do know as a group though we're going to have to be better in that area.
It's Keighley against Bradford this weekend. That needs no introduction whatsoever. It's a last 16 shootout in the 1895 Cup, effectively a winner takes all at Cougar Park. You must be excited that this is a big game, another big game early in the season.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, and that's one thing I try to stress to the players, like, be excited about this week. You know, we've got some things that we want to work on, and we've got, you know, a long time till we get to the game, so our build-up's going to be important, but I want them to enjoy it. It's exciting. My first time in a derby with Bradford as the head coach, first time going there as well, and you know, I've heard it's a hostile environment, but these are the type of games that we want to play in, so I'm really looking forward to it.
These games clearly mean a lot to players and supporters, especially those with strong connections to each club. How much does emotion play a part in these derby games? Because obviously, as we saw last season when Keighley beat Bradford 34 points to 6, there was a heck of a lot of emotion out there on the field that Keighley used to their advantage.
Yeah, I think emotion in games is great, but the team that handles it the best will generally come out on top. So we've got to use our emotion to maximise our performance. You know, sometimes it can be your worst enemy as well, which I've seen from parts of the team in terms of some individuals this year, and you know, that's human nature. I think I have a role to play in that, in terms of building the team up, but to a certain level, and trusting them that they can take that emotion out of it when the time's right and execute the job in hand in which they need to do. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big one for us. Like, we want to use it, but use it to our advantage. In
terms of those players that have recently joined the club who are probably like yourself a little bit, Eamon, who perhaps not too sure what to expect, have you had someone like Brian Noble, who's been there, done it, won the t-shirt? Has he give a prep talk, you know, kind of like explaining what to expect on Sunday? Because you know, there's going to be a big crowd there, maybe 3,000-4,000 people there. It is going to be a very hostile atmosphere.
Yeah, have you been speaking to the players? Yeah, on Tuesday I asked Nobby. We spoke about it during the week, and he was great. He spoke to the players, just, you know, about them things that you said, what to expect, what we're walking into, but more so what we want to do, how we want to perform, and the standards that we're trying to set. So that was great. I thought that was important. You know, I've got all my hand. I don't know. I've not been involved in one of these games, so I'll look at the tactical sides and the game plan and things we want to do. But Nobby spoke to the group, and it was really good. It was one of the things we finished our day with on Tuesday. We had our review at the start, went and did our weights, our skills, and the group came back in, and we kind of tried to set the tone for the week, which he did a great job of. So really appreciative of him for that, and you know, I think it was refreshing for the players as well to hear a different voice rather than mine. You know, I think I'm getting sick of my own voice at the minute, so no, that was it was really good. Like I said, I thought it set the tone for the week. Now we relax and we make sure that we nail our game plan stuff and our training and get some connection with each other, and then we build that throughout the week, build the intensity, so we maximise it on Sunday.
I'm kind of guessing, you know, someone such as a figure as Brian Noble explaining what this game means to the supporters, that'll resonate with the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, he nailed it in what he said. He was really clear, but really simple and really short and precise and to the point, which I think the group needed. Now it's down to the work, and tonight we look at some of the areas we want to be better at, some of the things that we've done well, where we want to keep getting better, some game plan stuff, and then we've got a great session on Friday. We're going against Rochdale again, which we like doing. We think it's great for our prep. Day off on Saturday just to recharge, spend some time with our family, and then hopefully energy levels are high on Sunday.
Will Adams has gone to Hunsley on loan, and is that a good move for him to get some game time?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's a great lad, Will. I really like him. We spoke a lot. He had some frustration, Will, because of his work commitments, and he couldn't quite make the training times, and we were unable to move it for him. We're quite restricted in terms of the availability of our field, so when I sat down and spoke to Will, we just said, look, maybe this is the best option for you. He's certainly physically capable and mature enough to be able to go and play League One and Championship. So we thought it suited him, and it suited us as well. I watched his game against Hunslet. It went really well, so I was happy for him.
In terms of the team news then, for this weekend's game against Keighley, obviously you said there was going to be a number of late checkups, and I think you said Ben Blackmore was going to hopefully receive some news from the hospital, the doctors.
Yeah, unfortunately Ben's going to be out for a period, looking at 10 to 12 weeks. But he's in a great headspace, Ben. He's an energiser and the group love him, so he'll still be around the place. We're hopeful it could be shorter as well, but again we're just trying to get some clarity whether he needs surgery on that or he can just continue with some rehab. So yeah, unfortunately for him he's going to be out for around 10 to 12 weeks. How
much of a blow is that, or the fact that you can slot Joe Rundle back in that centre spot and have Jayden on the wing? Is it a case of you're happy with the strength that you've got to cover that injury?
No, I don't believe we've got lots of strength there. To be fair, Joe's a great player to be able to put in, but we're really disappointed, and we're gutted for Ben that we've lost him. He's important and integral to our team. I suppose if you look at it that way, we are lucky to bring Joe in, but then we've not got much underneath that, so we don't want to keep losing players. It's going to be a big loss for us. But that's the great thing about having a squad. Someone else gets an opportunity now. So I thought Jayden Myers was fantastic at weekend. Some of the things that he did, the way he carried the ball, and just his attitude. We've moved him from centre, and he's just got a smile on his face. He's just happy to be in the team, and he's working hard. So Jayden gives us something a little different to Ben, but we'll certainly miss Ben.
Just on Jayden Myers, he's only 20, and are you watching his minutes, or are you happy for him now to become firmly established in that first, that starting 13, that 17?
Oh no, if he keeps performing the way he is, he'll be in the team. I think he's doing some good things. He wants to learn. He knows he's not the finished article. We'll keep working with him. But for the minute, he's doing well. I really like him because he's level-headed. He's a real level-headed kid. So yeah, we're happy with Jayden where he's at, and he's doing a great job.
Eben Skur, what's the latest with Eben?
Yeah, frustrating one with Eben. He's getting better each day, but he's not quite at the point where he's training yet. So we're looking like he might be 3 to 4 weeks, worst case. So yeah, frustrating one because of what he does for us and what he brings to the team. But I must admit, he's a huge loss. But I think some of the players in the current squad have really stepped up after we've lost him. I think Aribe, Danakora, they've been fantastic. So yeah, he'll be a welcome addition when he's back fit.
Michael Lawrence, it feels like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Every game is his 350th. Is this the weekend Michael does get that chance to hit that figure, that milestone?
I'm thinking about asking if we can make the session against Rochdale a proper match, so it's 351st when he plays at weekend. So he'll take part in some training tonight. Again, we're monitoring him because it's not a big injury that he's got, but it's one, if it's not managed right, it could become quite problematic. So he's in a great headspace. He is absolutely desperate to play, and not because it's his 350th, because it kills him not playing in this team. So we're hopeful he'll be good, but again, we won't rush it, and I'll make a decision on that this week. We'll see how he goes after training tonight.
Billy Jowett, I think you mentioned after the Dewsbury game he was jumping around. Is he okay now?
Yeah, that was a joke.
Oh,
really? No,
worries.
But he's he's good. He's in contention to play this weekend, so it's great to have him back.
And there's no further injuries anywhere else across the Bradford squad?
No.
And obviously we mentioned Dan Moss. Do we know what the latest with Dan Moss is? Is he still in your sort of future thoughts?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, he's been fantastic since he came in. I know we've moved on with Elliot. He would have certainly been in that bracket if it weren't for the injury, but we're looking after him. We got another opinion just from one of his old physios at St Helens, and we're looking to get him in with a consultant just to get some clarity for him. He's feeling really good. He's feeling strong. We just want to make sure we do the right thing by him. We don't want to put him out there and and it goes horribly wrong for him, and then he's out for 9 months needing an operation. So we're just doing the right thing by Dan at the minute. But yeah, he's certainly in my plans.
Just finally, Eamon, obviously there's a lot of media speculation. This club's looking at these players, this club's looking at that player. How easy or hard is it to try and get people in during this sort of 1895 Cup period? Then it's a Challenge Cup. Then if obviously Bradford win on Sunday. They've then got the 1895 Cup quarter-finals. Does that make it that little bit harder to try and get players in?
Yeah, it does, more so with the Challenge Cup, because obviously if you're looking for players, generally at this stage of the year, you're looking for what's maybe dropping out of Super League, so that's understandable. So again, I've mentioned it a number of times, it's an ongoing process with us. We're continually looking to bring the right people in. I think it's important, like it's the right people, not just people who are available. But it does make it that little bit more challenging with having the cup competitions, but it's the same for every club. So you know, we're not too far away. The competition's starting now, so I'd imagine it'd be a little bit easier to bring people in.
For those supporters listening, watching this, is it fair to say that you are looking to strengthen ahead of that Wakefield game, round one?
Yeah. We've made no secret about that. We've been looking since the pre-season, whether that's overseas or other Super League clubs. We're continually looking. There's areas that we want to strengthen to give us some depth. But again, after, you know, I think I say this every time, I'm really happy with where the team's at the minute. Boys are playing really well. But we want to have a good crack at it this year, and we know that we're going to have to strengthen. Every club will be doing the same. Any sort of quality comes out or becomes available, they'll be looking to do that, and we're lucky enough we're in a position to be able to do so.